ahead with our next resource person and speaker. And I am really, really delighted to introduce uh, her, Dr. Iman Abdul Samia Ali Hussain Alam. And she is a lecturer at Botany and Microbiology Department, Faculty of Science, Al Azhar University, Egypt. She is a global ambassador of climate change, and she is an ambassador of Peace 2022. She is a vice president of Biosciences Research Support Foundation. Dr. Alam is a dedicated lecturer and highly skilled researcher and a trainer of trainers. She has trained various science related subjects at undergraduate, postgraduate, doctoral, and postdoctoral levels, with a special interest in phytochemistry, plant physiology. She has got MSc and PhD thesis in plant physiology, production and improvement of secondary metabolites from wild medicinal plants using tissue culture techniques and biological evaluations of these secondary metabolites. As in the treatment of many human dangerous diseases, this point is her first scientific interest. Additionally, Dr. Alam has submitted to 16 patents related to new drugs extracted from plants. She has 45 books in the area of medicinal plants and in the improvement of research skills of youth researchers and students. In addition to the thesis, she has also 36 internationally published scientific papers in this area of science. She reviewed many international scientific books and scientific original articles for many international scientific publishers. She is the president of hundreds international scientific meetings and participated as keynote speaker, resource person, organizer, moderator, and chairperson in nearly about 1,500 international scientific meetings and engaged in many international training programs as organizer and instructor in a collaborative work with many international scientific and training organizations in many countries in Europe, USA, Asia, and Africa. So, thank you so very much, dear ma'am, for being with us. And I welcome you to the conference in today's session, and session is all yours. Thank you. So, Dr. Alam, you can proceed now.
Yes, I think it's
Yeah,
okay.
it is role of language and communication skills. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you very much for inviting me to be with you. It's an honor for me to be with you. Today we will talk together about role of language and communication skills in improving science diplomacy. I have some personal experience in this issue, and I need to be practical more than theoretical. But before entering to my personal experience in this regard, I need to show some theoretical points. Let's talk about human skills. We have different definitions related to human skills. Human skills is the ability to work well with other people individually and in groups. Communication, empathy, understanding of body language, growth mindset, self awareness, and so on. Other things related to human or soft skills and individual's knowledge, talent, ability, attitudes. Some total is called also as human skill. There is another definition. It's the ability to interact with other persons successfully. A manager or a leader must be able to understand, work with, and relate to other individuals and groups to build the teamwork environment. The proper execution of of one's human skills is often called human relations. Effective manager or leader mainly use two types of these skills. They are understanding trait or behavior at the individual level and group level. Another way is predicting behavior, changing, motivating, directing, and controlling behavior. Use of the terms in sentences. An effective manager must possess excellent human skills. Effective human skills can help managers or leaders or educators, especially, to get the work done by their teamwork in a very easy manner. Human skills are beneficial for personal as well as professional life. Person with brilliant human skills can easily engage the audience. So we have many
Just
keys.
just a moment, just a moment, ma'am. Your slides are not changing. Kindly check.
I don't know what's the problem. Okay, I'm coming.
Yeah, now it's the next one.
Okay, mom.
Yeah,
So can I continue?
yeah, kindly.
Yes, okay. So we have five key human skills related to building our future digital workplace. It's done by Appy Lewis. What is exactly our human skills? Sometimes we are entitling it as soft skills. They constitute our ability to relate to one another or to refer to aspects such as empathy, compassion, and authenticity. Educators, especially with strong human skills, can form deeper connections with colleagues and students. This serves as strong foundation for positive workplace performance in terms of innovation, adaptability, and thinking, and adaptive thinking, and collaboration, and many other things. Okay. This service is one of the key themes during many years ago, including the last year meeting related to Harvard University. They studied many things related to communication and what is the challenges against communication in educational places or educational institutes and universities. We have many few examples related to human skills like empathy, communication, understanding body language, and self-awareness, and growth of mindset, and adaptability, and coaching, and trust building. Human skills um, that leads leaders to enter the new age or a new era of the future. We can call it as a digital era. We need to focus on some things like empathy. We need to have empathy and compassion. We need to take care of our students. We need and anyone, but I need to talk about educators especially. We need to be able to understand them and their situation, and we need to respect their condition, and we need to appreciate. Mutual appreciation is highly required. It is also highlighted that demonstrating empathy requires effective interpersonal. So, what about communication? We need to focus on strong communication skills in all aspects of our life. In education, also, for example, either online or offline, it's very essential to have strong communication skills like practice active listening. We need to reframe what we listened to. We need to translate what we are listening. We need to be mindful of body language. We need to be clear about the point of our view or the point we are trying to make. We need to be work online in online environment. and we need to pay our extra attention to specific skills. For example, some try to even more things related to active listening and reframing what being said during Zoom calls to prevent miscommunication, because miscommunications is very, very bad, and its effect and its impact will be very bad on students and also on educators. There is also need to take extra care that everyone's voice are heard. So we need to check the clearance of our voices. For example, what are types of communication? We have verbal and non-verbal communication. We have written, we have listening, we have visual, we have group or individual communication. We have mass, we have feedback, we have formal communication and informal. We have downward and upward. We have horizontal and diagonal communication. We have different types, as I said before, as you can see here in photo. We have different types of communication because communication is the act of transmitting information, ideas, and attitudes from one person to another. Thus, communication takes place among individuals, being to various categories and backgrounds. They put into operation various types of communication, including verbal, written, non-verbal, mass communication, feedback communication, group and visual communication. We have many modes of communication, like we have communication and interpersonal and presentational and linguistical, sorry, or alphabetic communication. And also we have oral, visual, spatial, and we have various cultural and intercultural modes of communication, and we have interpersonal and interpretive or presentational communication. We have many methods related to communication and the different types, like we have typewriting, we have handwriting, we have voice only, video only, handwriting, mixed with typing, or uh, typewriting mix and video. And also we have handwriting plus video, and we have voice plus typewriting, and we have voice plus handwriting, and we have voice plus video, like via Zoom and Google Meet and so on. There is a challenge related to communication, like in case of in verbal or non-verbal communication, cultural differences. You can talk to a person from another culture. So, for example, in some cultures, there is something like touch or eye contact. Others don't have. Physical space is highly required. Others, maybe it's not important. We have many differences, so we need to be in intercultural discussion. We need to understand the others. We need to appreciate the others. We need to appreciate all differences between us and others. We have interpersonal and we have interpretive and presentational communication, and there are some differences between them, as you can see. Also, we need to talk about deeply human skills like motivation. In case you are talking about education, we need to be motivative learners by applying many things like listening, interest, and internal values. We need to highlight internal values of students. We need to talk about enjoyment. Also, we need to talk about adaptability as one of human skills. As you know, during the issue of pandemic, it's a very huge crisis. So we need to overcome such crisis by strong adaptability. Also, we have coaching ability. We need to have educators that have the ability to coach the team, or maybe trainers of trainers. we need to initiate and establish leaders of tomorrow or leaders of today. So you are talking about coaching and high performance training. We need to talk about trust building. How can we be appreciated from our students without trust building? So, human skills for creating a new, better. We are all entering a new area in the way of our works, for example, and human skills will become even more important for both individuals and organizations to enter in the digital age, because during the digital age or digital era we are contacting multicultural people. So we are not contacting also sorry, only for example Egyptians, since I am Egyptian. No, we are contacting and dealing with different people from many cultures. So we need to appreciate cultural differences in communicating each other. The more individuals are supported in developing these skills, and the more also as a result likely they will be able to build better future in themselves and also in their organizations, in the form of building leaders of tomorrow. So I need to transfer to one of very critical points. It's improvement of research skills of sorry, of scientific knowledge and research skills of students and youth researchers, educators, and students. As you know, we are talking about SD goals. SD goals is very important because I think it's talking about humanity. It's talking about sustainability. So we need to correlate everything with sustainable development goals. What is sustainable development goals? Sustainable development goals, we have 17 sustainable development goals. Number 4 is the quality of education. So we are talking about quality of education. I think quality of education will affect all 16 points. Interaction between all 16 will be located in number 17. So we are not allowed to ignore the issue of sustainable development goals. It's very, very, very important, and it's a very, very critical issue. Sorry. So now we need to talk about improvement of scientific knowledge and research skills of students, youth researchers, and youth educators in relation to sustainable development goals. Let's say accessing change and transformation in higher education an essential task for leaders. It's said by Peter Ickel, okay, 20 years ago. Educational organizations are places of leadership. So we need to get leaders of today and tomorrow. We need to depend on our students in many things. So how can we depend on them without good communication and sorry, with good communication and we need to be interactive with them. So let's talk about responsibility and motivation. I think my dear colleague before me received a question related to how can we focus on communication in the case of educational process. Uh, I need to highlight some issues related to this. Sharing knowledge and the science is not a job, it's a message. So we are followers of messengers. Must do it seriously with all love and appreciation, improving ourselves to be able to improve our students. So we are talking about responsibilities and motivation. I think we have two pillars in the issue of education, we need to talk about responsibility and love. Without love and without responsibility, I think we can't have good educators. So we need to talk about love and responsibility. So, what is love? If we are trying to translate letters of love, we will find that all letters of the love are located between learning and education. So, we are ranging between long life learning and holistic learning and education. We need to be learned before educating and learning our students. We need to learn ourselves before trying to be educator or trying to be teacher. So if we delete these two letters, the L and E, we will have 0 plus V. So life will be of zero value. So life and loving life means loving learning and loving education. So, what about educators? We are talking about communication skills and human skills. So, we need to talk about professional development skills for modern educators. Transferring the science, as I said before, is not a message. It's the it means that we are followers of messengers. So we need to improve ourselves and we need to do it with all love and appreciation. And we need to improve ourselves to be able to improve our students. So education is not only gaining lessons or studying only, it's knowledge, it's experience, it's skills. We need to ask what, where, when, why, how. This is the communication. This is the activation of the classroom. If we are practicing our experience, so we will have skills. So, what is the skills? Skills is the ability to grow, to have advanced training, to gain knowledge, to be in long life learning, in holistic learning, and we need to have experience. We need to be experienced educators, and let's focus on training, training, and training, and training. We have professional development like monitoring, consulting, and practicing, and we need to improve and improve ourselves. So we will see the reflection of our learning or long life learning or holistic learning. What about continuous professional development? We need to talk about leadership, and we need to talk about improving our skills, and we need to talk about many things that will lead us to success. What about career development? We are talking about self assessment and career awareness and goal setting and skill training and performance. So the core features of effective professional development is coherence, active learning, focus on content knowledge, collective participation, and time adjustment. We need to talk about educator dealing with colleagues and students and the curriculum. What about curricular development? We need to improve our curriculum. We need to have a mission and a vision. We need to have smart goals, and we need to try to be smart in achieving our goals also. We need to focus on self-development, knowledge, improve, learning, education, and workshops, and training, seminars, and training and development. So, professional development related to training, coaching, teaching, gaining knowledge, development of ourselves and our students, learning, experience, and having skills by practicing our experience. Let's talk again about soft skills training. Now I need to talk about improvement of research skills of students and youth researchers and the kids also. However, we are academics, but we need to be very simple. We need to reach to the level of kids because it's our responsibility. Writing an abstract or writing a paper is very important to not only professors but also for youth researchers and students to enable them to participate in scientific conferences and scientific meetings as diplomatic scientists. So we need to simplify writing, for example. Also, before improving skills of students and youth researchers, we need to learn them ethics and rules of participation in scientific meetings, either online or offline, in order to prepare them for great future based on hands of great scientists representing their countries in an excellent manner and high performance. What about ethics and the rules of participation of in scientific meetings? I think it's alone needs many lectures. I think one day we're not enough to say that we have different modes of participation. What is the ethics in each mode? We have online and offline and hybrid participation. We have many forms of participation. You can be president, vice president, chairperson, vice chairperson, organizer, secretary of the conference, reviewer, editor, speaker, oral or poster presenter, and you can be attended. So, if you are president or vice president, it means that you have the responsibility of choosing your teamwork, for example. So, you are responsible on all details. My responsibility will be related to all details inside the event. If I am, for example, chairperson or vice chair, it means that my responsibility will be about handling the issue of organizations between speaker and audiences, for example, and time adjustment and the discussion, and how can I control the discussion, how can I participate in discussion, and so on. What about organizer? Organizer is a reflection to their countries. So, for example, if you are inside India and I am your guest, so as organizer, you are reflecting hospitality. You are reflecting hospitality. If you are trying to be to do it in your best level of performance, so it means that you are expressing your country in also the best performance. So you are giving reflection related to your countries, your place, and so on. So you are scientific diplomacy. What about secretary? Also, same related to contact between the audience and the conference committee. A reviewer and editor may be in shade because of their sensitive rules. Speaker also means presentation skills. Poster presenters also presentation skills, but not in verbal communication, but we are using written things. So we need to choose best photos. We need to be formal. We need to stand beside our poster. We need to make it attractive to audience. So we need also to control the issue of replying questions and so on. What about the speaker? We are talking about oral presentation skills. We need to talk about also listening because maybe you will deliver your lecture, so you will deliver some questions. So you need to listen. Now we need to say two important words. We need to say talk and listen. Talk in an excellent manner and listen also in an excellent manner. So if we are good listeners, we will be good speaker. If I am a good listener, it means that I'll be good speaker. What about attendance? There's many things related to being excellent attendant, like as I said before, great listening and appreciation of speakers. And if you need to comment, you need to comment in a very, very polite manner in full respect to the speaker. Same to the audience. From the speaker, we need to reply in a very good manner. We need to be calm in any question. If I don't know the reply, I can say I don't have any reply. I don't have any answer. It doesn't mean that I am weak in science. I am not highly qualified. No, because I know certain things, you know certain things, so we are completing each other. So we need to know that we are in a completion, not in a competition. It's not a competition. I'm not in a competition with anyone. I'm not the best and I'm not the least. Okay. So I need to transfer to simplification of science and active learning. I'll show my example. I am having an example related to biotechnology because I'm phytochemist. So I need to highlight active learning, inquiry-based teaching, and the learning of biotechnological sciences. Now I need to talk also about simplification of science and also how can we use two languages to simplify science. I can mix inside incubator or inside class, I can mix people from different cultures, but I can deal with all of them. For example, I have two languages. I have Arabic and I have English. So I can talk in both languages. I can make the background in Arabic or in English, and I can describe it in Arabic or English, and so on. So, what about during the lecture? What we need to do? We need to do monitoring. We need to have some important things before trying to be educator. We need to have period excellent preparation. We need to be ready before entering our lectures. We need to explain the lesson very carefully to the students, and we need to appreciate all modes of listening, of learning, like listening, visual, and so on. We need to repeat to them anything needed if they asked me to do. I need to ask them to interact, listen to them, encourage and motivate them. I need to discuss with them many important points to activate them. Don't say you are wrong, but say you are right. But also in diplomacy, don't say you are wrong, but say you are right. But I have another view. Encourage others. Uh, Participation is highly required. Responsibility, as I said before, but we need to do it with full love. If your students will love you, so they will listen carefully to you, advice and monitoring. Reward them. Reward is the best to encourage all to be the best. So we are talking about leadership. What about rewarding? Rewarding, don't reward all of them equally, but make them to feel that everything is going to be gradually. So if you are excellent, so you will receive excellent award. For example, this is inside my lectures. Before my students, I'm entering the classroom. I'm preparing samples. Long life learning messages such as love your responsibility in education. When they can see me preparing samples, however, I am a doctor, I am not assistant, but I'm doing it for myself because I wanted to learn them. What is the meaning of responsibility? We are not educating information, we are educating values also. So long life learning messages such as love your responsibility in education. Then make leaders. Here is a student as a leader. They are interacting with her. Here in the board, brainstorming and interaction of students. Here, successive awarding. You can see inside these awards and inside these prizes, there's some samples. I need to inform them that the plant itself is a gift, the sample itself is a scientific gift. Here they are celebrating their success. Here again, another students. So scientific awards also is highly required, so we need to motivate them. Here, for example, I selected some of clever students to attend and to be organizers. This is the science and the diplomacy, to be organizer in a certain workshop. These workshops are paid, but I waived them to attend. I supported them to attend. However, they are at the first level in their college, but this workshop is about nanotechnology, how to prepare chitosan nanoparticles from senses to application. I'm engaging them in advanced titles or advanced topics to enlarge their brains. Here, leaders, I am celebrating them, their success because they are servant leaders. They are supporting others. So also I need to comment on this photo. We need to have many leaders, not only one. We need to make leadership not to be centralized. We need to have different leaders, many leaders. So we need to divide them into many groups. So each group will have the leader. And please evaluate the leader. I learned them how to evaluate, how to do your feedback, how to say no, how to say yes if it is good. Leaders, servant leadership online, not only offline. Some of them are working as organizers and technical supporter in some scientific meetings. Let's transfer to some of my personal experience related to some books and simplification of science and education of students. I try to mix Arabic and English in some books, and I try to use the language and communication skills to simplify science. This book is related to achievement of our faculty. I'm the author of this book related to all workshops I did to my students, post and undergraduate students. This book is about active learning and education of science through inquiry-based learning and education of science, biotechnological sciences as an example. This book also for my students, plant biotechnologies and pharmaceutical products. As mom said, I have 46 books, not all of them in my specialization in plant biotechnology or plant phytochemistry, but some of them in the area of simplification of science and also in diplomacy, in science and diplomacy, and how to build scientific diplomacy. Plant biotechnology and natural products also, I try to do it as a sample book for students. This book is authored by one of my students. I encouraged them to be book authors, and this book is about bioinformatics, but in Arabic to simplify science. The book is done in 2 languages. Also, I talked about popularization of science. As a case study is plants mentioned in the Holy Quran. Also, I talked with them in books. I'm considering my books as talk with my students. So inside books, I'm talking to them. For example, here I talked to them about diet and innovation. Here, alphabets of a scientific paper, how to simplify scientific writing, to participate in conferences by full text, full manuscript or full length paper, or by abstract only. This book is exercise book of the alphabets of a scientific paper. Here, how to simplify the scientific writing. Here, participation of students in scientific meetings and the preparation of a scientific paper. Here, the way to my future. I learned them how to be upgraded in learning, not be upgraded in academic work or so on. It doesn't mean that I am lecturer, associate prof, and prof. No, it means that how to upgrade in your life, in your skills, how to be multidisciplinary person. For example, regarding me, I have my PhD in science. Okay, beside it, I studied law, and I have MSc in intellectual property rights. Also, I'm a student of psychology. I need to send a message to them that we are in long life learning method. Here, simplification of science. The example is plants mentioned in the Holy Quran. Here also, sexual reproduction in plants. This book is about flowers, inflorescences, and fruits, and so on. Green bio nanotechnology. I try to simplify this issue. Green bio nanotechnology and the production of phytochemicals with antibacterial activity against against the causative agent of typhoid fever. Phytochemicals with potent activities against vector-borne diseases like mosquitoes. As you know, problems in Africa. Phytochemical and larvicidal activity of some extracts of some Egyptian plants. I prepared this book and I published it during my visit to Nigeria. However, I have got malaria and typhoid, but I can share with you a journey of success, because if you wanted to success, you will. Here, I used some medicinal Egyptian plants in a postdoctor fellowship. I tried to use these plants against the causative agent of filaria, and alhamdulillah, it gave me good results. Here, natural phytochemicals products for our life, herbal medicine from the land to the hand, from A to Z. We need to simplify science, because if science will be complex, it means a failure, because we need to simplify science. We need to make it available. It's communication. We talked about communication. We talked about oral and verbal, here written communication with the students. Plans between the Holy Quran and the modern sciences is another book. Another book related to biopesticides and so on. I established more than 500 training programs for many students at different levels of education. I tried to learn them ethics and the basics of science and diplomacy. Here I am with my students, male and female students. They are from different universities. This is something like incubator. Participated with us different scientists from all over the globe. They came to us to support students here from Saudi Arabia, others from Libya, others from Syria, and many Arab countries. Here we are celebrating the success of our of our program. You can see that they are happy. They are celebrating gaining knowledge. Here, I need to say also with kids, yes, we can. Here, I received the invitation from many schools. So I received the invitation from the Ministry of Education here in Egypt to simplify science in schools. Here, you can see interaction between me and the students. They are very happy by engaging in questions, Q&A session, and so on. Here, inquiry-based science education workshop in Malaysia, organized by UNESCO. I participated as a speaker there. Let's talk about education during the pandemic. successful case study, I need to highlight the issue of communication during the pandemic in my country and in class in my personal experience. Sorry. Let's talk about active learning. Let's talk about communication of students. Here you can see many students from the first level of biology. They are still very small. They just enter the faculty at their first year. I asked them to prepare a project related to presentation skills. I asked all of them to choose any subject you wanted to do. Please be engaged in our volunteering program. So here, for example, Shaima, one of my students, talked about reproduction of medicinal plants. Another student, Amal, talked about scientific writing and the publication of papers. However, she is still young, but she talked about scientific writing and the publication of papers. Other one, Amira, talked about time management. Another one, Asma, talked about presentation skills and communication skills. Rufaida talked about self-confidence and also talked about different types of snakes. In addition to other lectures on the area of improvement of life quality during the pandemic, and many other lectures in the area of sustainability of life during crisis and maintenance of psychological health during the pandemic. Also, really regarding the issue of translation and using of different language, there is a book is done by WHO. WHO is the publisher of this book. I contacted the author to have a permission to use it as educational course. I wanted to change the life of my students during the pandemic, so I need to do psychological support to them. I asked him to use this material. I translated it to them to be available, and they used it, and they also delivered lectures from the book. The best students, more than 50 students, are selected to attend free online training programs on branches of IPR. Not only we are educating them science, we are educating them ethics. When you are talking about branches of IPR, intellectual property rights, it's an ethics. This workshop is organized by Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Academy of Scientific Research and Technology, Cairo, Egypt. And also, in addition to online training programs at the Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology in Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology Research Institute, in addition to many online training workshops like Moringa as a food and medicinal plant tissue culture from theory to application, relation between female lifestyle and infertility. Additionally, they are awarded by many online training programs in the area of improvement of human psychological and research skills of students, in addition to some books as a gift. Improvement of research skills of students, science and diplomacy, role of ethics, of role and rules and ethics of participation in an international scientific meetings is another workshop. Here, students as chairperson, I am trying to educate them how to be best chairperson. However, they still young, but we need to start earlier. I'm saying to them, if you will start earlier, you will reach earlier also. Students here as chairpersons, another students also as chairperson, best and bad practices. Some of bad practices here, for example, previously some of best practices and so on. Here students as speaker, best and bad practices also. Awards, best participation, included here by some of my books. Another one, best organizer. I'm trying to learn how to be how to be excellent organizer and so on. Sorry. Active participants, as you can see in the board is full of, I think it's not movable. Yes, it's okay. Active participants, as you can see in the board, is surrounded by all their words in the form of brainstorming. They are writing about diplomacy. They wrote about diplomacy, something like conclusion of the workshop. Active participants, the young active attendant, she is not faculty student, but is a school student. She attended with her sister because she wanted to join us. She was awarded because she is very active and she has highly interactive discussion with me. So I need to say I have a message. Education by means engaging students, means responsibility, improvement, high performance, and better future. You are talking about science and diplomacy. So talking about creation of leaders. You are talking about high performance. How can done without love and responsibility? I think we can't. As I said before, kids, with kids also, yes, we can. With kids, yes, we can. Here is one of the students in my incubator. He is less than 5 years. As you can see, he delivered the lecture after engaging him in incubator for few days. I teach him something like ethics of scientific research and presentation skills. All listeners are saying he is young, he can't. I said no, but he can. They said he can't. I said he can. And he can. Alhamdulillah, he can. As you can see, he was awarded by the Minister of Education at the time. After COVID, we returned from online to be offline. And let's talk about motivation and let's talk about awarding our lovely students and improvement of presentation skills and so on. Different students. Here, invitation from the minister to attend some incubators related to scientific research. I need to improve innovation ability of students. Here, I talked with them about alphabets of a scientific paper. I put all my paper in one poster, and also you can see students are interacting with me. They also participated with me to deliver the lecture with me. This is the interaction. This is the interaction. Here, different groups of students. Here, they are celebrating. However, the prize is not big. It's only 10 pounds, but he is very happy because he did something good and he was awarded. He is very happy by it. Here, you can see this student is educated by playing. Something like game-based learning. Here, teachers and principals are celebrating with me the success. They attended with them. They attended with them to listen to me, to know what they can do with their students to be better, to be good leaders, and so on. Here, another class with and another incubator with adolescents. However, they are not young, but also they are happy by being awarded, by saying something right, by communication, by being motivated. Another class, another one, another one. You can see here mixture, kids, girls, boys, and so on. So this mixture is very important. So you are improving the skills of kids by engaging them with faculty students, for example, or higher education students. We have also in Egypt, we have child university, for example, is done by Minister of Education. It's related to Academy of Scientific Research and Technology here in Cairo, in Egypt. We are celebrating the success of all kids, different ages. As you can see here, it's a mixture, it's a community, it's our society. Here you can see the student beside his dad. His dad also is a doctor, so his dad is delivering lectures and he is trying to be as like as his dad and so on. Celebration, certificates. Please learn them that certificate is good, but you need to be deserved it. Don't ask about any certificate if you are not deserving it. This is one issue I am raising via science and diplomacy, because every meeting, some people are texting, where is the link? Where is the link? And some of them are distributing links to get certificates, but they are not deserving it. So, certificate plus knowledge is very, very good. But a certificate without any knowledge is very, very bad. It will destroy the future. But by gaining a certificate plus gaining knowledge, so it's very important. So you can see them, they are smiling and they are very happy by their success. Just I am adjusting my phone because worries that it has any problem with charging. So also with sickness, we need to overcome sickness. Here, our visit and our incubator inside cancer hospital for child. We are educating them awareness, awareness against cancer, how to deal, what is the best diet, and so on. They are celebrating by balance and playing with kids and so on. This is some of my students with the kids. Here, students, kids, and some of my students. Here in another meeting inside the hospital. Same, same. Another meeting. As you can see here, this is some of my heroes. They are organizers. Sorry. They are organizers. They are best attendants. They are scientific, diplomatic people. Here, one book can be used to be, one book can be used to simplify science. For example, this is one of my book, Diet and Innovation, and this is a visit to our college This visit is done by school students. They are with us 4 years ago. We talked about diet and innovation. Here, students inside our faculty journey and visit to my faculty and labs outside Egypt, Africa, poor students. Here in Nigeria, I'm trying to educate them some values, some, not only science, not only knowledge. My dear second mom, I'm calling her as second mom because she's a companion with me in this journey. Here, kids also in Nigeria. Here, they are cleaning their place after getting something like a lesson or a lesson or field lesson, as you can see. Don't put any waste on your land. Make it clean. As we said, SD goals. Keep your environment clean. Don't pollute it. Don't put anything above the land. Appreciate your land. Sorry. And finally, I try to simplify scientific writing generally as a part of science and diplomacy when we are talking about a paper. So we need to divide each part and to talk about each part. If there is a time, I can continue. If I reached to the end of the time, so I can say that's enough at this moment. Hello? Hello? Am I
Yes,
audible?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. Please.
Okay. My time is over, or can I continue for 5 minutes?
Yeah, ma'am, you can continue for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your hospitality and the thoughtfulness. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So, when we are talking about paper, we need to prepare diplomatic scientists. We need to simplify everything. We need to mix languages. I am trying to prepare my books in two languages. I'm using simplification of science and also I'm using multilinguistic in the issue of simplification of science. So, for example, I have a life example related to alphabets of a scientific paper. I prepared this paper, this book for students and also for educators as a case study related to simplification of science. So, what is alphabets of a paper? I try to prepare one letter for each rule related to writing and each essay and issues of writing. So when you are talking about paper, scientific paper is not means merely a paper like any other written paper, but it means pencil, pen reaction. Sorry, pencil pen reactions, pencil pen reactions, not like any other written paper, but pencil pen reactions induced by sounds of minds interact with each other to produce applicable work, supplied a beneficial product for people. So paper requires efforts, payment, and ideas of peers are results of positive reactions between scientists and surrounding environment. We are talking about communication, but written in the form of written communication. I talked about oral presentation. I talked about many forms of communication. Now I'm talking about written communication with the students. So paper is pencil pen reaction to produce applicable work to produce a product. This product must be beneficial for people, and it needs and requires efforts payment. Its reactions between us and our surrounding environment. It means that we are talking about communication with our society. So, as a scientist, we must be in touch with our society. So, let's conclude education, sorry, equation of paper, title plus abstract plus introduction plus methodology plus results plus discussion plus conclusion plus references in the mind of scientists equals paper. Title must express work totally in brief words, total ideas and total results, and must be informative and identifies the work. It must be targeted to the point. Less but suitable words are better than misleading words. Enough for the identification of the work. As you can see, I am using red and black in the white background. This is our Egyptian flag. So let's talk about values. Let's talk about how to love your country inside the text. Inside the text. Also, I wrote and I was engaged several times in many NAB programs. I know that you are doing the same in India. So, abstract must be attractive, brief words, but of great values, strong formation, targeted to the point, and repeats your data shortly. All ideas and all methodologies and all results in a mini paper conclude your work. It's a compact, complete mini paper, targeted and to the point. Introduction, introduce your work to readers, not too short, not too long, and boring. Medium size is better than long. Targeted to the point, renewable, and rephrase your sentences to fit your work. Organize your data in order to show its scientific value. So they are learning organization. How can be organized? How can you organize your idea, your data? And also, rephrasing means that don't cheat. You need to be yourself in the work. Don't copy and paste works of others. Documentation of every written word must be done. Useful review followed by introduction of your target in the work shortly at the end of it. Compact, complete review of literature must be included in it. So you need to know what is done in the past and you need to plan for the future. So tell us about past against the future. It must be informative, observation of what is done already, to know what is the gap and how can I fill this gap. A neglection of pioneers equal complete ignorance. So we need to know pioneers in science. So we need to appreciate them. This is included in values, methodology, materials, methods, ethics, efforts, and establishment of your future. You need to think to modify, not to repeat. You need to trust yourself during the work. You need to try and error to learn. You need to tolerate all hard conditions. This is the adaptability. We talked about it before in human skills. Tolerate all hard conditions and low facilities. How to use simple things to achieve your great target. Online mind is better than offline mind. Direction of the work will be the lead of your thinking. Being a person of creative thinking is better than being official thinker. International thinking is highly required than local thinking because in the globe we are located inside the globe. So don't think locally. Online mind is better than offline mind. We need to do contribution in the science, not to do a weak traditional work. Your work falls under your responsibility, so you need to be yourself during the work. Years of your life is spent for learning to be a great scientist in the future. So this is the leadership results reaction between all parts of the work, respect both negative and positive results, because negative result is a result. So we need to respect and appreciate it. We need to convey it to readers, because if I say that this things, for example, will not give me about establishment of new successful works led by the running results must be not similar to others. We must be pioneer. It must be similar, support and correct primary hypothesis. What about discussion, this or life of data, informative, simple, comparative analysis of your results against results of others presented in a creative manner. It must be include useful, not useless data. It must be short, swimming with my own data and the data of others. It means that we can learn brainstorming. It must be informative and of great impact to the work if done carefully. New ways of comparing your results with results of others will make your work stronger. It must conclude the work to others. And what about references? We need to repeat all references included in all text. It's efforts of others, so we must appreciate efforts of others. If I use any word from anyone, I need to do documentation in a well manner. Okay, so I need to say all required details. Okay, so recent is better than old, but we need to refer to pioneers also. Also, we are recollected it from the text and its efforts of others, so we must appreciate. We must do it in a very complete manner, and we need to put it inside it corrected data, and we need to appreciate scientists. So S of references means scientists, and I reached to the final, but I need to conclude is that communication can be done by many ways. The language is not a barrier in communication, so we can overcome all problems. The material is hard, we can simplify, and everything must be done by depending on two pillars, as I said before, love and responsibility. We need to love what we are doing to do it in high performance. I reached to the final. That's all what I have, and I need to hear from your side and to learn from your side. Appreciation to all of you, and thank you, and joy hand and salute to all of you. Thank you again. Thanks, my dear sister Shalija, for inviting me. Thank you, Kosamam, and all your great teamwork. Thanks a lot, and bye bye. Thank you.
So I'm opening the session for any sort of questions. If you have any question, kindly you may ask. So I guess there are no questions from the audience. So I would like to thank Dr. Alam to share your valuable thoughts with us, and I appreciate your presence here in the session. So I have few announcements, quick announcements I'll be doing. So there are some upcoming international conferences. So the list is as it goes. First is on aquatic literature, and it will be held on 18th and 19th of November, offline and online on both modes. And offline venue is Houseboat, Alappuzha, Kerala, and simultaneously online mode on Google Meet. Another is Women in Literature, and it is going to be held on 16th and 17th of November 2022. And offline venue is Nizamani Memorial Christian College, Kanyakumari, Tamil Nadu, and on Google Meet as well. Another one is Language, Literature, and Social Science, will be held on 11th and 12th of November 2022. And it is the offline venue is Annai Velankanni College, Tolayavattam, and on Google Meet as well. And this is just to inform all the participants here that the certificates will be issued within 15 to 20 days. So now I'm just moving ahead, and I would like to congratulate Dr. Regan Sylvest, President, Cape Comorin Trust, for commendable and meritorious work he's doing for scholars, intellectuals, and educators by creating such platform on diverse topics and on different fields of knowledge. So, sir, I really applaud your efforts and I extend my sincere gratitude to you. Thank you, sir, and the organizing team as well, especially dear Dr. Shelja Vasudeva, ma'am, to provide